Hi guys, this is OG. Welcome to Crypto Knights, a noble brotherhood of cryptocurrency traders and investors. Become a knight by joining the Crypto Knight Discord channel, link in the description below. Every day I share the latest technical analysis and market updates on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Now, going into today's video, so let's start out with Bitcoin. In yesterday's post, I mentioned that Bitcoin was forming a double bottom. The first double bottom being the larger one in the orange, and then a smaller double bottom in blue right here. And if we take a measurement of the target for the smaller double bottom breakout would be here, roughly at 34.2K. And then the target for this larger double bottom is at around 34.6K. And so yesterday when we had this candle here, breakout, I mentioned that this would be a good place for a potential long, but there is a higher risk of this trade failing compared to if we had a breakout above 33.8K, right? So essentially the neckline or the breakout of this smaller W double bottom is at this level, the 33,650, while the breakout neckline of the larger double bottom is at 33.8K. And so this place here is where I said I took a small position, but I didn't go in heavy because of the fact that a break above this 33.8K would have been a more of a confirmation on the trade. But because we didn't get a ton of volume come in from the breakout of 33.8K, I actually didn't add more to my position. So I actually just held onto my entry at this level and running it up for the moment. So the next things I'm looking for is one, the target of this smaller W bottom, right? So this is at roughly 34.2K. So I'm waiting for that to hit. And then should we break this, then I'm looking for this next level, 34.6K, right? The target of this larger W. Now, if that target is met, where will we be looking for next? So let's zoom out to the hourly chart. So the next level would be a retest of this trend line, right? So roughly at 35,000. And then even further up, then we have 36,000, which is this previous swing high. And then if we were to go even further up, then we have 36.6, right? 36.6K. So these are the levels that I'm looking for on the upside. On the downside, what I'm looking for is this, right? So going back to the 15-minute time frame, one, I would want to see this level hold, right? This around 33.6, 33.7 thousand. The reason is because two things. One, this is the neckline of this smaller double bottom, right? So I will want this to hold. I don't want price to break below this, right? Because then this in a way invalidates this pattern. Secondly, because this is where the 200 MAs are at on the 15-minute time frame, and we also don't want this to break, right? We want this to hold in an uptrend. So even if price does come back down here, I want price to bounce. But if price comes down here and breaks below this, closes below this, especially on high volume, then most likely this trade is going the other way. Now, if we look at the 1 hour time frame, right? So this kind of aligns with the fact that if we do break below the 200 MAs on the hourly as well, then this is probably not looking good for bulls, at least not in the short term. So these are the levels of the things I'm looking for on the downside for either for me to take out of this trade, or for even looking for a potential short. Now let's look at some of the other pairs. Moving on to Ethereum. So on Ethereum, yes, we actually had this double bottom here, entry at this candle, and this would have been a nice profitable trade. On Cardano, I mentioned yesterday that I was looking for the potential W double bottom. Neckline is at around 137. We have yet to break it, So as of now, still waiting, right? As with all of these trade patterns, we wait for confirmation. We wait for the breakout before we trade. We don't enter before because the pattern might not form, right? So this double bottom was only a double bottom if price breaks above here. If price continues to go downwards, then this isn't a double bottom. This is invalidated before the trade. Now looking at BinanceCoin, so we had this double bottom here, this entry, and this would have been already a profitable trade. Then I mentioned that as price was in this region, I mentioned that price is getting squeezed between this high and the 200 MAs, and I drew out this zone, right? If price breaks above, then we like to see a potential continuation. So far, it's pumped up a little bit, but we'll have to see how far it goes. Looking at Cardano, so similar picture to, probably looking at Polkadot, similar picture to Cardano, right? We're looking for a potential double bottom here, and the breakout neckline is at roughly 16. So again, we're waiting for price to break above 16 with strong volume before we enter into a position. Right now, we're just waiting, right? So I'm not entering right now. I'm entering when we get confirmation. Looking at Uniswap, same thing, same story, right? Potential double bottom, right? Keyword being potential, and the neckline's at 21.7. So if we break above 21.7 with strong volume and strong, candlestick, then I'm looking for a long entry. But if we don't break it, then I'm not going to enter into any trades. With regards to XRP, we had this inverse head and shoulders. This would have been a nice little scalp, and now we are testing the 200 MAs, and this is kind of like the first test, right? You can argue that this was the first test, but price actually never reached the 200 MAs, and so this is the first time that price is touching the 200 MAs. And so, as you know, typically the first test of the MAs ends up in a failure, right? So this is most likely going to at least struggle here, maybe potentially even head lower, but we do not have the confirmation yet that this will go lower, right? Because we don't have the candlestick formations that I would want to look for. But this is this wick here though is the initial sign that price potentially go down or at least struggle here. So if you are in a long, right, then this could be a potential place to at least take some profits off just in case price reverses, right? But at the very least, you should be paying attention. But on the other hand, so price continue to go up, right? Especially if it closes above this wick, then chances are most likely that this wick was a trap, right? To trick people into thinking that price will come down. So if we get a candlestick close above this wick, right, especially if there's high volume, then very likely this was likely going to pump. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.